guys, it's me again, the other part of the second grade teaching team here, teaching your math lessons. So Mrs. Green last week did polygons, and she was talking about shapes and how, for example, a triangle has 3 sides, a rectangle has 4 sides, a pentagon has 5 sides, a hexagon has 6 sides. And if you remember, the definition for polygon is what? Do you remember the definition for polygon? We've talked, oh, I just looked in the thing. Do you guys like my sweatshirt? It's kind of big, but it's nice and comfy, and I'm just at home now, so I'm teaching from my downstairs kitchen, so I just put on my big old Mason sweatshirt because I'm super duper missing you guys. So I got a little sidetracked because I looked in the camera here. So I put on my Mason sweatshirt today to do my videos. So polygon, sorry about that. So the polygon definition is a shape that has all straight lines, no circles, no curves, like a U is not a polygon because it has a curve, and it has an open space at the top. Polygons cannot have open spaces, okay? So I know you guys talked about that last week. We've been getting some emails of kids who have made polygon shapes with toothpicks and marshmallows and all sorts of gadgets and things. I know Mrs. Green did raisins and toothpick or flossing things from her house. Excellent emails that we've received of great work that you guys have done making some shapes. Excellent creativity. So this week we are going to talk about partitioning rectangles. Partitioning rectangles. So you guys, sorry, I have an itch. You guys partition, well, your parents partition rectangles, and you probably don't even know it, okay? So think about this for a second before I tell you what this means. So your mom has just made a batch of brownies, and you're going to see this in the video that's attached to my lesson, okay? And I actually might ask you to pause this video and click on the other video link that goes with my video. It's right under my video where it says Mrs.Demas's video. Click on the video under this and watch it first, and then go back to my video because then it'll make more sense. Mom has made a batch of brownies, okay, in a rectangular pan. Think about what a rectangle looks like. Long, like a tissue box, but bigger, you know. And then she cuts the brownies into pieces, or a cake, and she cuts them into pieces. What is she doing? She's partitioning or cutting pieces into the rectangle, okay? She is partitioning the rectangle. She's cutting pieces. So partitioning just means she is making same size pieces. Unless she's not making all the same size. She might be making little pieces on one side and big pieces on the other. Then it's a little bit different. That's not what we're talking about. So what we're talking about today is partitioning rectangles into same size squares. They all have to be the same size, okay? So in your parent notes that we sent out, you're going to notice one of the pages, if you scroll down all the way to the bottom, there are some resource pages. If you have a printer, you can print them up at the very bottom. Parents can just print those, or you can just look at them and then just write them down. Write down the important pieces that you may need, or parents can just read them, or you can just read them too. One of those is partitioning rectangles out of same size squares, okay? So, and again, that just means, and I can show you on mine in a second. Actually, I can flip my screen around and show you right now. Don't look at my mess because my little home screen is right here, my little mess here. So, right here is my can't tell if you can see this or not. Like I said, I have a little mess down here. Here's my screen. Where's my camera? There it is. So that is the family note that's attached to your notes this week. And basically, it's telling you what you're going to be doing today. Okay, so look for that on your notes. Okay, you're actually going to be doing something like that with me today. And you're going to be doing it out of just a plain white piece of paper. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do that. All right, so I feel like today's lesson is super easy because you guys are, like, we've done this in the classroom before. Whether you're in Mrs. Green's class or my class, you've done something like this before. You know how to fold, you know how to cut, you know how to make a square. You know what the template is, you know what a square looks like, you know what 1 inch is. So I feel like this is an easy lesson, okay? So the words that we are learning today, because Mrs. Green always starts with a nice addition, estimation, warm up. I usually start with vocabulary. We talked about polygon, we talked about shape names. We're going to talk about partitioning rectangles into same size squares, okay? So just a quick review. 90-degree angles. What is that? What am I talking about? Do you remember? I'll give you 1 second to think about that. What is a 90-degree angle? I see some people already with their hand up. I see some people already doing this. What does this mean? What are you doing this for? Let me see if I can make mine a perfect 90. Can I make a perfect 90 with my hand? Probably not. Probably not. Can you? Probably not. Could I make a perfect 90 with my book? A book has a nice perfect 90 because it has a nice sharp straight edge, 90 degrees right there. Okay? This is a rectangle. A rectangle has 4 90-degree angles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So, rectangles, squares, they have 90-degree angles. 4 of them. Okay? So when we partition or cut our rectangle into the same size squares, that's what we're going to talk about doing today. So what you're going to need, in case you need to gather materials right now, you're going to need a piece of paper, and I actually already did mine, and you can see something's missing. I had just a normal size piece of paper, and like I told you in the other videos, I don't have a ton of materials at home because they're all in my classroom. So I just got a piece of white paper out of my notebook that is still Alex's drawing book from wherever I found it in the drawer, and I took one piece out, and I folded it in half, and I cut this off. I'm going to put that down, okay? And then I folded that in half, and I cut this off, okay? So if you're going to need actually you're going to need 2 pieces of paper. And you're going to need something to write with, a pencil, and I actually needed some scissors for today, okay? So if you need to gather materials, go ahead and get those things. If you don't need to gather materials, if you're just going to watch and then do the putting together later, that's okay too. All right? So, partitioning rectangles. We're going to talk about words like rows, and I usually describe it as row, row, row your boat. You're going back and forth, back and forth. Your paddles go back and forth on the boat. They don't go up and down. That's a column. Columns go up and down like on the houses. Rows go back and forth, okay? So we're going to talk about how many rows are there in your shape and how many squares are in each row. And those are basically your concepts for today, okay? How many rows are in the shape? How many squares in each row? Easy, right? Okay, so you are going to have your paper. Let me start over and show you. The first thing you're going to do, I just ripped mine out. And mine has holes, but I'll take care of that. You're going to hold your paper up. Now, some of you had a hard time with this, so I'm going to show you an easy way to match it. And I think we've done this in the classroom. You're going to match corner to corner to get a nice even fold. So you're going to go corner to corner, okay? Corner to corner, like that. And then press it down, okay? Like this. And I'm going to cut off my holes at the top. That way it's not looking messy. There we go. Okay, so I just folded it in half. Go ahead and do that. I'm going to throw this away. Okay. I'll give you a second to catch up. Now once I cut it in half, what will it look like? This. So go ahead and cut it in half, and then you'll have one of these. Okay? Then, are you ready? You're going to fold this in half to make a rectangle. And you're going to fold again, and then you're going to cut that in half, and you'll have one of these. Make sense? Okay, so now you're really stuck with 1/4 of your rectangle. Okay, one part of it, 1 out of 4. Okay, so now you're just going to take your little piece, put the others away for now, and you're going to fold. We're done cutting for now, okay? And then you're going to fold it again. And then one last fold. We're not done yet. One more. Now it's getting a little harder to fold. You're going to have to press. Give it a good press. We're not cutting though. Don't cut this. or you'll have, well, not yet anyways. Not going to cut it yet. Okay? Now I'm going to put it down on the counter so I can give it a good fold. Okay? I'm going to give you a second to catch up. Is everyone caught up? All right. Now we're going to do one. I know I said we were done, but I just looked at my sample. Nope, we were not done. Sorry. One last fold. Now, it might be getting a little hard to match your corners. Just do the best you can. These do not have to be perfect. You know mine are not, please. Okay. Now, this was hard to fold, so I'm going to push it back down on my counter and use my thumb and give it a good hard press. And if you need to ask your parent to help you, that's okay. They're there. If you were at school, we'd be running around trying to get a friend to help us or myself, so that's okay. Okay? Go like this. Okay. Now, this is the fun part, but we're not going to cut out hearts. Don't think we're doing a Valentine activity, remember? Don't cut the folds. So now we're going to unfold it, okay, like this. Can you see that? So now we're going to count. How many rows? Where's my marker? Remember, rows go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So let's count the rows. Go ahead, you can count yours first. I'm just going to use my marker to use my pointer. 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. Did you all get 4? Hopefully you did. Okay, 4 rows. Just for fun, we can count the columns, but we're really focusing on rows today. Let's count the columns. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a perfect square. 4 rows, 4 columns. Okay, 4 times 4. So how many squares are in each row? I'll repeat that. How many squares are in each row? We can put a number inside of this, or we can cut these out and lay it on the piece that we cut out. Let's do that. Go ahead and take, you have 2 different ways you can do this. If this is hard for you to see, you can take your pencil and just draw thin lines, and then you have something to see to cut. Or if you can see these folds just fine, you can just start cutting. I could see my lines just fine, so I just cut my pieces out. Okay, so if you want to cut your pieces, go ahead and do that. Okay, you want to predict how many pieces do you think there will be in total. Some of you have already done this math, I can tell. Some of you already know. That's okay. Okay, then you're going to take, I'll give you a chance to do that. Go ahead. Go ahead and cut out your pieces. Okay. Now I'm going to kind of hold this up, or I could just pick up my iPad because I'm recording on my iPad. You see I'm looking down here, and I'm lining up, not very neatly, and I did not bring a glue stick down because I don't even know if I have one here. I'm sure I do somewhere, but I'm not quite sure where, but I did not grab it. So what I'm doing is I'm lining up my squares. It kind of looks like I'm making an art project. And this would be super cute if I did it with colors, like if I would have colored my paper first. I'm going to save that for an idea. But I didn't color mine first. But you guys, that's an after idea that I'm hanging on to it in my brain for a minute. So I'm going to have you put that in your brain for a second too, okay? Okay, so mine are white on white. So I'm going to flip my iPad so you can see it. So don't look at my workspace. This is like my teacher's workspace right here. It's my studio. It's my recording studio. Okay, I have to remember what the camera is on my iPad too. Okay, so here is what I just did. I took my pieces that I cut out and I laid them on my piece of paper. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. Now if you have a glue stick, you can glue them down. You see that? Okay. So you can do that once our video is over. I won't take up all your time doing that because we have a couple other things we need to talk about. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside for now. Sorry, hope you're not getting whiplash. But before we do that, let me raise this up. How many rows are there, did we say? 4. And I can point that. If I can hold this and not be too messy about it. Sorry, this is not very good videography. Here, I'll just do it like this because I can't see what I'm doing. I'm upside down. What happened to my light? Don't know. My light went weird. Sorry about that. Oh, there we go. Okay. That was weird. So, how many rows did we say? 4. How many did we say were in each row? 4. So, my math brain says to me, how many are there in all? You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll give you a chance to count. Go ahead and count them all, or you can make a multiplication problem out of this. If you're moving along in your times tables, if you're on reflex math, some of you have already gone through all of your plus and minus, and I've put you on times tables. So you might already be there where you're timesing this, where you're doing a times table. So if there's 4 and 4 and 4 and 4, what's 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4? Are you saying 16? You're right, it's 16. Okay, so that answers our grand question, which would have been on your home link for this unit, for this assignment. It would have been how many rows? 4. How many squares are in each row? 4. How many in all? 16. So besides talking about partitioning rectangles, cutting things into even pieces, because if I do little pieces over here and big pieces on the other side, are those even? Nope. We're going to also review, we're going to finish up by reviewing some addition problems that I want you to copy down onto your piece of paper. Remember, I asked you to bring 2 pieces of paper. You can get a piece that you've already used and flip it to the other side. You can use a napkin, whatever you've got near you. Okay, the first problem is number 1, 37 plus 58, and stack it vertically. Number 2, I don't want to read it to you backwards, 85 plus 97. For now, just copy them down. So I'm going to put this down. And then I'm going to give you guys a chance to do them, and then we'll check. Number 3, 32 plus 87. Actually, I won't check them with you. I'll give you guys a chance to do them, and then your parents can check them with you. They certainly know how to do this. And then the last one has a 3-digit plus a 2-digit, 175 plus 38. And I want you to notice how 175 plus 38. The 3 is under the 7 because that's your tens column. The 8 is under the 5 because that's your ones column. In one of the videos that is linked under this lesson also is adding 3 digits. And I really liked this video a little bit more than the other one because it was a little more straightforward, and it talked about placement of your columns, how they need to be lined up straight. There's nothing under the 0. Why? Who knows? How come? Because there isn't anything in the hundreds column. We always start from the ones, and if you're regrouping, think in your mind, does this need a regroup? Think about that for a second. When you do the problem, you'll know. If it does, you have to regroup to the tens. Don't skip a column, and we've talked about that in the classroom before too. So go ahead and copy these down. $37 plus 58, 85 plus 97, 32 plus 87, 175 plus 38. Okay? So this one is a little bit more challenging. And then some of our friends, they're super good at math, and they love the challenge problems, which is awesome. If you're looking for even harder stuff, have your parents write down 3-digit problems for you if you're really enjoying these 3 digits, or just make them up yourself and write them down and solve them. That'd be awesome. If you're looking for minus, we're going to get into that as well, but you can start minusing by yourself. Remember the rule though. For minus, big numbers go where? Top or bottom? On top. Correct. You are right. Okay. Next time your parents make brownies, ask them if they know how to partition that rectangle into even squares. And they're going to go, huh? What are you talking about? And then you can explain to them that you know how to partition that rectangle into even squares. And then you can ask them if you can have a square. and they're going to be like, okay, that's a little enough on the math. No. All right, guys, that is it for this math lesson, and I miss you all, and I wish we were back at school and doing our math in our math groups. But this is it for now, and I will see you all soon. If you would like to email me some answers, or if you would like to color these squares and like to email them to Mrs. Green and myself, and email us some other shapes that you're making, but it has to be an even shape, an even rectangle. It does not have to be 4 by 4. It can be bigger, it can be smaller, it can be in colors, whatever you want. Feel free to do so, and we will talk to you soon. All right. See you guys later. I miss you so much. Bye-bye.